This is the Indianapolis 500.
Get ready.
And there is a 33-year-old Andretti leading.
Pilati
Wow.
entry.
Wow, that is wild. I've never, ever.
And a yellow on the track, Lee.
Welcome to 33 Dreams of Indy. Today we're counting down our picks for the 11 things you may not have known about the 2020 running of the Indianapolis 500. The Indy 500 is known as the greatest spectacle in racing, and 2020 did not disappoint, but for some different reasons as compared to other years due to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. For this list, we'll be looking at some facts, trivia, and information you may have missed or forgotten about the 104th running of the Indianapolis 500. Naturally, the list is going to have a spoiler as to who won the race, but we figure you can get that information on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway website anyway. So, you've been warned. What do you remember most about the 2020 race? Let us know in the comments below.
It starts here today.
This is the greatest spectacle in racing, and today, one of these drivers will do something we will never, ever forget. There has not been an Andretti on the pole position at Indy for 33 years. Can
Wait,
Marco
checker.
do it?
Checkered
He's done
flag,
it!
checkered flag.
Number 11. Is it August yet? On March 13th of 2020, the IndyCar Series joined other major American sports leagues and racing series by postponing their season due to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. As soon as the announcement was made at the season opening race in St. Pete, Florida, attention turned to one question: what about the Indy 500? Originally scheduled for May 24th, the race was ultimately postponed until August 24th due to the pandemic. The 2020 running was the first time the race was not held on or around the Memorial Day weekend in late May. The Speedway commemorated the change in the race date by producing a limited number of t-shirts based upon the traditional Indy 500 catchphrase, "Is it May yet?" that said, "Is it August yet?" Number 10. Latest ever starting time. If you've ever been to Indiana in August, you have felt the heat of the midday and look forward to the cooling temps in the later afternoon. This is especially true at the Speedway, where the shadows of the stands cool the front stretch and turn one in the late afternoon. It was for this reason that the Speedway stated that it was rescheduling the start of the race from its traditional 12 noon Eastern Daylight Time starting time to 2:30 p.m. While the weather was a potential factor in this decision, it actually had more to do with golf. Namely, the Women's British Open that was showing on NBC during the traditional starting time period. The weather turned out to be great, with the race time temperatures of 84 degrees. Number 9. 8 former winners were in the race. Of the 33 drivers to start the race, 8 were former winners. It was the most former champions racing there since 1992, when there were 10 former champions. Among the 8 winners racing in the 2020 edition were Scott Dixon, winner in 2008, Takuma Sato, winner in 2017, Ryan Hunter-Reay, winner in 2014, Alexander Rossi, winner of the 2016, Will Power, winner of 2018, Tony Kanaan, the winner in 2013, and Simon Pagenaud, the defending champion, winning the 2019 edition. Add to this Helio Castroneves, winner of 2001, 2002, and 2009. What's more incredible is this marked Helio Castroneves' 20th consecutive start, a milestone only reached by 9 other drivers at the time. The field also featured 5 rookies: Pato O'Ward, Oliver Askew, Rinus VeeKay, Alex Palou, and Dalton Kellett, and 1 former Formula One world champion, Fernando Alonso. Number 8. Gentlemen, start your engines. For the first time since 1999, no women started in the Indianapolis 500. During that 20-year span, at least 1 woman had started in the 500. During that time frame, Lynn St. James, Sarah Fisher, Danica Patrick, Milka Duno, Anna Beatrix, Simona Di Silvestre, Pippa Mann, and Catherine Legge made a combined total of 39 starts, with the highest finish being a third by Danica Patrick in 2005. Mary Holman George would give the command to start engines during that time frame with an appropriately modified phrase for the times. Lady or ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Lady and gentlemen, start your engine.
Number 7. A chance for the youngest ever winner. Troy Ruttman won his Indy in 1952 at the age of 22 years and 80 days. Rinus VeeKay, Colton Herta, and Pato O'Ward were the 3 drivers who had an opportunity to break this record in the 2020 edition. However, it did not happen. Another driver, Santino Ferrucci, lost his chance by a hair as the pandemic delayed the race. On race day, he was 22 years and 83 days old. Troy Ruttman's record still stands as the youngest winner of the 500, but there was a chance. Number 6. What Andretti curse? Marco Andretti set the fastest lap during Fast Friday practice at a speed of 233.491 miles per hour, the fastest practice lap at Indy since 1996. The question heading into qualifying was if Marco could back up the practice lap when the 4-lap pole run took place. He sure did. In gusty, windy conditions, with his father Michael and his grandfather Mario looking on, Marco narrowly edged out Scott Dixon by 0.0113 seconds for the pole position, with a 4-lap average at 231.068 miles per hour. It also marked the first time since 1987 that a member of the Andretti family qualified for the pole position, when Marco's grandfather Mario performed the same feat. Heading into the race, all was right between the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the Andretti family, if only for a few days. Number 5. The race was not blacked out. Definitely some great news for those in the Indianapolis area and Indiana. For the first time since 2016, the race was not blacked out in the Indianapolis area, airing live on WTHR Channel 13. The usual protocol for the race is to be shown on a tape delay in the local area so that potential fans are encouraged to attend in person rather than stay at home and watch on television. Yet another tradition that was broken by the COVID-19 pandemic. Number 4. The Aero screen era begins. Before the 2020 season began, it was announced that from the 2020 season onwards, the IndyCar Series would use a cockpit protection system that's a blend of an Aero screen and halo. The combination of the Aero screen and halo was originally developed for use in Formula One and IndyCar before being introduced to other open-wheel championships to improve safety standards by deflecting debris away from the driver's head. This meant the Aero screen was running for the first time at the Brickyard. During the first 2 races of the delayed season, drivers experienced stifling heat in the cockpit, caused by the limited airflow from the Aero screen. A supplemental air duct was added to the Aero screen beginning at Iowa to help cool the cockpits. The addition of the Aero screen proved to be an engineering and aerodynamic challenge for the race teams due to the added downforce. Number 3. 2 wins with 2 teams for Takuma. The race winner was Takuma Sato, the 43-year-old Japanese driver that led 27 laps in his Honda, including the last lap run under caution. Similar to qualifying, Scott Dixon had to settle for second. What made the win so special for Takuma Sato was this was his second victory, both coming with different teams. It's tough enough to win the Indy 500 once with a team, but to do it again with another team is special. In 2017, Takuma piloted the number 26 Andretti Autosports Honda to victory and backed it up by taking the number 30 Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing Honda to victory lane. Since 2000, only Juan Pablo Montoya, Dario Franchitti, and the late Dan Weldon have taken 2 different teams to victory lane as a driver. Number 2, a new owner. The name Roger Penske has been synonymous with IndyCar racing for years. In late 2019, he cemented his IndyCar legacy even more with his purchase of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Penske Entertainment Corp., a subsidiary of the Penske Corporation owned by Roger Penske, made the purchase of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the IndyCar Series, and IMS Productions on November 3, 2019, from the Holman George family. Roger Penske, also owner of the racing Team Penske, stepped down as a full-time race strategist to focus on the new ownership roles. It was an unusual sight to see Mr. Penske watching the race from the pagoda instead of being perched on the pit wall during the race. It was the first time that the Holman George family had not been involved as owners of the Speedway since 1945. The Penske era had begun. The team at Penske Entertainment went to work and were looking forward to showing off the Speedway to the race fans that gather for the largest single-day sporting event in the world. The Speedway installed a multi-million-dollar fan experience investment that added 30 LED large-screen video boards around the track, 100 feet wide by 20 feet tall IMS media wall at the base of the pagoda facing the Pagoda Plaza, and the addition of a wireless network. Additionally, IMS was enhanced with noticeable infrastructure improvements that included more than 225 refreshed restrooms, paved parking lots that equated nearly 400,000 square feet of asphalt and 3,000 tons of concrete, and nearly 5 miles of new fencing around the property. But as you'll hear in number 1, Mr. Penske would have to wait a year to show off his improvements in person, although they were definitely visible to the TV viewers around the world. As the owner, Mr. Penske also gave the pre-race command of drivers, start your engines. Now, before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mention facts and information that you may not have known or remembered. The race average speed was 157.824 miles per hour. The Rookie of the Year was Pato O'Ward. Scott Dixon led the most laps with 111. The race was broadcast on NBC with an estimated 3.669 million viewers. Lee Diffie handled the play-by-play on TV with Townsend Bell and Paul Tracy. Paul Tracy was actually stationed in the Turn 2 suites. On the originally scheduled Memorial Day weekend race day of May 24th, NBC aired a replay of the 2019 race with Mike Tirico joined by the two drivers that dueled for the victory that year, winner Simon Pagenaud and second place Alexander Rossi. Mark Jaynes handled the radio call on the IMS radio network as the voice of the 500. Now, before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You'll have the opportunity to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on a phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, no fans. In entertainment, there's a term, the show must go on. And in this case, it was the greatest spectacle must go on. But it was not the same because the stands were empty. While the Speedway has never released attendance figures for the race, in 2004, the Indianapolis Star journalist Kurt Cavan counted 257,325 seats, a world record for a single sporting venue. The number of seats was reduced to an estimated 235,000 in 2013. Add to this the nearly 100,000 that gather in the infield on race day, and you could see that the fans are just as much part of the spectacle as the action on the track. In 2020, like so many other traditions that were put on hold, the fans were not allowed to attend. After going back and forth for months with the state of Indiana and the local county, the final decision was made on August 4th to hold the event without spectators in light of COVID-19 concerns. Had the race been canceled, it would have been the first time in history of the event that it had been canceled since World War II in the 1940s. Some diehard fans still gathered outside the Speedway between turns 1 and 2 to take in the sounds of the 500, but it was a shocking sight to see the empty stands as the cars whizzed by. Let's hope we'll never see that sight again. Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. Check out this other recent clip from 33 Dreams of Indy, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.